over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. We'll get to the promised land. We'll get to the promised land.
Romans killing riotous groups that are rising up.
As I turned around quickly, and the next thing I saw was Malcolm falling back in a dead faint.
Killing any potential threat, any potential Messiah.
Dr. King left his room, 306, at the Lorraine Hotel just before dinner to get some air. He walked over to the railing at this spot, and noticing some friends below, he leaned over and began to speak with them. Police say 205 feet away, in a window in a flop house, the assassin waited.
Killing any potential threat, any potential Messiah.
And Rob, some call that deadly raid the massacre on Monroe Street. Black Panther leaders Fred Hampton and Mark Clark were killed. Fred Hampton and Mark Clark were killed. Fred Hampton and Mark Clark were killed.
Right? Now look at these. I'm telling you, I gotta show y'all. A picture speaks 1,000 words. Just look for yourself. And this is the creme de la creme. All praises be to the Most High, y'all. Everything we've been through, y'all, the Most High is going to retribute it on all the nations that have had a hand in the oppression of his apple, the apple of his eye, his chosen people, his beloved, his fervent lover, his only begotten. They're going to have their part in the lake of fire. You see them tormented by some kind of creature. I don't even know what that even is, y'all. Judgment in chains. He that led into captivity shall go into captivity. All praise to the Most High, y'all. It said, thou that dwells in the clefts of the rock. Whoa, I know a lot of y'all know about the Caucasus Mountains. Let's just let the words speak. Let's go to verse 4. Though you exalt yourself as the eagle, and though you set thy nest among the stars. What's up, Zion Dynasty? This is your favorite dreaded Israelite, the man, the myth, and the legend, Mr. JB Zion. Your boy is back in the flesh. You already know what time it is. I'm about to hit y'all with another bang. Your all praises, honor, glory, dominion, majesty, world without end, to the mighty one of Jacob, the holy one of Israel, the restorer of the 12 tribes, the resurrector of the bones of Ezekiel, the redeemer of the children of Israel. All praises be to our Yahweh, the mighty one of Jacob, the most high Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And your boy's back in this thing, y'all. First, I want to say peace, love, blessings, prosperity to the full, to the overflow, to all my Israelite brothers and sisters, all my Israelite kings and queens, those that's just a part of the greatest awakening in human history. Let's go! Where the Most High Yah is taking that which was destitute, that which the nations thought was destroyed, and people that they stripped of all dignity, identity, and history. Yet the Most High is able to resurrect us, and we in this thing, y'all. Yoruba, Benai Ephraim of the tribe of Joseph, i.e. the son of Jacob, i.e. name changed to Israel. But not just y'all. I also want to say peace, love, blessings, prosperity to the full, to the overflow, to all our Gentile brothers and sisters and supporters. Y'all, we could not do this without y'all. Y'all mean absolutely everything to me, Shawnee D, the Zion Dynasty family. Y'all just loving us, not getting caught and lost in the sauce. All those that ain't lost in the sauce with these urban apologist junkies that went off to the cemetery, the seminary school,
to be able to learn absolutely diddly squat. Well, Israel don't worry, whosoever will, let them come.
to learn absolutely nothing. All praise to the Most High, y'all. And to y'all as well, I love y'all. I do this for y'all, all my frenemies, all those Christian trolls, all those that hide behind Israelite names, but you know you ain't with the movement. All of y'all, I do this for y'all. You can go ahead and get your Inspector Gadget goggles on and spy us out, because we in here doing these things and we dropping that.
Whoa.
in this thing. Y'all already know this is a channel where we got receipts. This is the channel where we got Harvard professors, Dr. Tudor Parfit. We got Oxford scholars, Edith Bruder. We got Cambridge verified oral traditions of the West African tribes. And I know I say this in every video, y'all, but I gotta let these folks know this ain't just some throw it on the wall, let's watch it stick. We got prophecies. We got Deuteronomy 28 that our people will go into a nation as swift as the eagle flies with a yoke of iron around our neck, sold unto our enemies as bondwomen and bondmen, carried away in slave cargo ships. We will be the tail and not the head. The head, the stranger would come in and rise up very high, and we will remain very low. Y'all, we got Deuteronomy 28, Joel 3:3, us sold to the Grecians, Job 30:30, my skin is black upon me, Song of Solomon 1:5, I am black but beautiful. We got the gates thereof languish, and Jeremiah 14:2. We got all these things, y'all. We got all the receipts. We got the Bible prophecy. We got archaeology. We got DNA. We got Ivy League scholars all saying that the so-called Crayola color black, two continents slap, byword in the proverb of the nations, the so-called African American, that we are actually in fact the descendants of the biblical Israel, and that's a fact you can go to your bank with. We got the receipts. Let's go. So y'all already know, I ain't gonna do it too long. We're gonna go ahead and jump into this thing, y'all. We have been dealing with a lot of history, y'all. A lot of series where we're going into Esau, we're going into just Edom being linked to the modern European nations, right? We've proved that Esau will be the last ruling empire, that the so-called white supremacy European power construct will be the last governing influence before Yeshua returns, the Messiah of the Hebrews, restores and regathers Zion, takes us back to the land, and rules using its people as a world without end. Y'all, we've been dealing with this, and we're not gonna stop now, y'all. In this video, we are about to go deeper into the book of Revelation. Now, I already know we've done a lot of y'all check out those other videos. We talked about the 144 of Revelation 7 and Revelation 14, the saviors of Zion, the leaders in the age to come. We talked about that. We also talked about the mark of the beast and the beast system, right? We touched a little bit on the Antichrist. I do plan on going deeper into this Revelation series. It's become a series, y'all. I started looking at it. I was like, well, I covered Revelation 13. I talked about Revelation 7 and Revelation 14. I might as well just go into the book of Revelation. If that's what y'all want, y'all comment. Y'all let your brother know. If y'all want me to continue to expound the book of Revelation and end time prophecy, show you America's place, show you NATO and the market company's place, and show you what that looks like in terms of judgment when the Most High judges this last Edomite Antichrist beast system and then establishes Zion, regathers us, fulfills the 400-year prophecy. If y'all want me to go deeper into this eschatological, that's what the word eschatology means. It means the study of end times, right? The study of end time prophecy. And we've been doing a lot of that lately, especially when we dealt with the Esau series. You have to deal with a lot of end time prophecy to know what that imagery is in the book of Revelation. We could get lost in the book of Revelation because there's a lot of imagery to unpack and unbox. So y'all, we're gonna go into it a little bit deeper. In this video, we're gonna deal with the whore of Babylon, right? Babylon the Great, which the Bible says will be that last great ruling city or subgroup of the beast that would rule before Yeshua comes as the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, and goes to war with all these nations, led by America, wink wink, where Yeshua comes, judges all these nations, then establishes his kingdom, world without end. So we're gonna deal with Mystery Babylon, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my thesis and hypothesis out, and we're gonna look at the receipts where America is that last ruling city, that last whore of Babylon, the whore that rides the beast. And we're gonna read that in Revelation 17. That last offshoot of Edom that's gonna just be celebrated and gonna be like the world superpower of that day. That last city is America, which is a subgroup of the European Union, of Edom at large, that beast and that people, right, that will rule in the end. America is the epitome of that city. America is Edom the Great, Babylon the Great, Sodom and Egypt, that last city that you read about in Revelation. So before we go too deep, I'm gonna do a little rehash on a lot of the Revelation and the book of Daniel precepts that help us understand end time prophecy. So first we talked about Daniel. we talked about how Daniel interpreted a dream, a vision that King Nebuchadnezzar, who was the king of Babylon, had. King Nebuchadnezzar was the king of the greatest empire, Babylon, right? Which was a foreshadowment of the last great empire. And we're going to see that with the beast that Daniel talks about, where he saw the lion with eagle's wings. King Nebuchadnezzar represented that Alpha and Omega, that beginning Gentile rulership and the end rulership, right? That's why that last kingdom of Edom, that last great city, is known as Babylon the Great. And that's why that lion had eagle's wings, because the eagle is the fourth beast, yet it is alluded to in the first beast, because this is the beginning and the end of the Gentile powers, this Edomite Babylonian system. So Nebuchadnezzar has this dream, and y'all take notes, y'all take notes, y'all take notes. Also, if you want to support this work, y'all, I'm gonna pick that Cash App up for y'all to see it. If y'all want to donate and that kind of thing. So now back to Nebuchadnezzar. So y'all take notes now and replay this video as much as you want, because I'm about to go through a lot of precepts. So in Daniel chapters 1 and 2, we see Daniel and the 3 Hebrew boys and all these Judeans in captivity. Nebuchadnezzar has this fearful dream about this statue, and he's like, what does this mean? I saw this great statue and then this mountain destroyed it. What is this happening? Right? And he had sorcerers, he had magicians, he had all these different people that could not interpret it. Daniel, with the spirit of the Most High, was able to interpret that statue dream. He says, the statue that you saw, King Nebuchadnezzar, is actually the Lord, the Most High Yah, the creator of the ends of the earth, showing you all the empires that will rule until our God, the Most High Yah, our Elohim, would rule the earth with his people, world without end. So that head of gold that you saw is you. You're that head of gold, that great beginning empire, the empire of Babylon. And we talked about Babylon. Y'all look at those older videos. But you're that Babylonian ruler. You're that great head of gold. That arms and chest of silver is the Medes and the Persians, which will come after you, O King Nebuchadnezzar. After them would be the birth of the Greeks. We read about the Greeks in the Apocrypha, the hidden books of the Bible that these theologians, these wicked white folks, these wicked Edomites took these books out the Bible. You only read about the Greeks coming to power in the Apocrypha, in the additions to the book of Esther, as well as Maccabees, 1st and 2nd Maccabees. There's also 3rd and 4th, but they're not quite as verified as 1st and 2nd. So we see the Greeks are that abdomen of brass. After the Greeks come, you have the iron legs, which was the ancient Roman Empire. After the iron legs, you have the feet with the 10 toes of iron mixed with clay, to let you know that that last feet, that last element of the statue, would be an offshoot of the Roman Empire, a revived Roman Empire. And we talked about that, y'all, with the 2 beasts in Revelation 13. We saw a beast that came initially, that was ancient Rome, and then we saw a new beast come, which was a resurrected, a restored. After that beast was sought to be killed, or we thought that first empire of Rome was destroyed, they actually came back through America and the 10 NATO countries. Now, when I talk about the 10 NATO countries, I'm gonna go ahead and explain that. These were the founding European countries of NATO. Now I think it's about 30 countries in NATO. But the founding countries was America, Canada, and the 10 European countries, those 10 market companies that started NATO. And America was leading the charge.
So now the question is that we have 2 final nations standing. We have Ishmael and we have Edom. Who is going to be the last one? We look at the Gemara in Yuma. The Gemara in Yuma, page 10, goes and says that there's a machloket. Who's going to stand last? Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi goes and says Rome is going to fall in the hands of the Persian. Meaning that Rome, Edom, America, that's going to be the last one standing. Meaning that Rome, Edom, America, that's going to be the last one standing. Meaning that Rome, Edom, America, that's going to be the last one standing.
Now this goes into that whore that rides the beast with the 10 horns. We're going to talk about that. So King Nebuchadnezzar has this dream. Daniel says this statue is every empire that's going to rule the earth until Christ comes back. The Babylonians, the Medes, the Persians, the Greeks, that leads into the Greco-Roman, are the Romans, and then the new Roman, fueled by Roman Catholicism and all that kind of thing, which is going to be Edomite in extraction, those European Edomite countries. So now we talked about that. We also talked about the beast. Daniel sees this same statue in a different way. You guys, prophecy is like that. When you're reading the Bible, Solomon gives us a secret. He says there's nothing new under the sun. The Bible is full of that which was, is that which shall be. Repeating patterns. That's how it's kind of hard for people to understand prophecy, because it is literal and it's prophetic at the same time. Let me give y'all an example. In Genesis 15, when the Most High Yah appears to Abraham and says that your seed are going to be strangers in a land that is not theirs, we know that Israel went into Egypt, but some people misapply 400 years, which Josephus and the Greek Septuagint and the Pentateuch tell us, the Septuagint tell us that they were not in Egypt in bondage for 400 years, but actually 215 and 215 in Egypt, and less than that they were in bondage because they loved Joseph and that group of Israelites that first went into Egypt. They did not afflict Joseph. So we know that it's not talking about that era, but after Joseph dies and a new Pharaoh comes. So that's why you have to be careful when you're reading the Bible, because it is saying that, yes, Abraham, your seed will be in Egypt and will suffer bondage. But also there's a prophetic element of that 400 years going into our people, so-called blacks, fulfilling Deuteronomy 28, which was already prophesied, being in America 400 years of bondage. Now y'all check out that 400-year prophecy video. Now, so we see Daniel then come and say that same thing about the statue in a different way. He talks about the four beasts. The first beast was a lion with eagle's wings. The second beast was a bear with 3 ribs in his mouth. The third was a leopard. And the fourth was a dreadful beast that Daniel was not given the animal representation. He just saw a dreadful, androgynous, dragon, weird looking creature. We learn from the hidden book in the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 9, it says, for Esau is the end of the world, but Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. This lets us know that the Edomites would be that last beast. Not just that, but in 2nd Ezra chapter 11 and 12, Ezra sees the eagle come up out of the sea. Why is this important? Because in Revelation chapter 13, that beast that John sees come up out of the sea is that same beast that Daniel saw. So Daniel sees a fourth beast. He doesn't say an animal. Then John sees a beast come up out of the sea. Ezra says that the beast that your brother Daniel saw that came up out of the sea is the eagle. So Ezra bridges like a perfect puzzle piece Daniel and John in Revelation. This is why they took that history out, because it causes a lot of confusion, right? The eagle is the image of the fourth beast. Now we talked about that. I'm just doing a rehash. So in our Mark of the Beast video, we talked about this. We talked about that beast, that first beast that comes out of the sea in the book of Revelation, actually being Rome, ancient Rome, right? Now let's go back to Revelation 13 and we're going to look at this. So in Revelation 13, it says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were as unto a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and his great authority. Now let's deal with this. So the dragon that gives this beast of Rome its power is the people that created the empire. How do we know that? In the previous chapter. In Revelation 12, you see this dragon come on the scene. This great red dragon is trying to kill this woman. Who is this woman that dragon trying to kill? Mary. This is a metaphor with multiple layers to it, and we're going to break that thing down. So we see a red dragon coming against this woman with 12 stars to crown her head. We see this red dragon trying to kill this woman. The woman is Mary. The dragon is Herod, because Herod was a red Edomite, European Caucasian, that was literally trying to kill Mary because he knew that Mary was going to give birth to the born king of Judea that would jeopardize Herod being the king of Judea. And we already talked about Herod being a narcissist. Herod was crazy, y'all. Herod killed the priests, the Levites. Herod killed all the Maccabean Hasmonean dynasty that had the right to the throne, because Europe or Rome put Herod in charge. So Herod had this inferiority complex where he was like, there ain't never gonna be no other king. I'm gonna kill every Judean that tries to be the Messiah. Any Messiah king that tries to come and take my place will be destroyed. So we see that he even hires the 3 wise men to go find this baby so that he can worship him. He says, go find that man child. Go find baby Yeshua so that I may worship him. Now the angel warns the 3 wise men and says, don't listen to that crazy madman. He is trying to kill the babe's life. Now when Herod found out he was double-crossed, he said, where is he? Where is he? Like Bane is like, where is he? Where is he? He freaked out because the angel told the wise men, don't tell this dude where that baby is. Herod goes on a rampage and kills every Ephraimite, every Bethlehem descendant in the whole land of Bethlehem Ephratah. He kills all these Judeans, puts them to death from the age of 2 years old and younger. That man is crazy. So we see that this is a metaphor that the Apostle John uses in the book of Revelation. Now I'm going to explain something about the Apostle John. The Apostle John knew that Rome was looking at him, was watching him. The way that the apostles and the prophets wrote these books was a lot of metaphorical, symbolic language that only Israelites that knew the Torah, knew the prophets, could break down or unzip the zip file and decipher these prophecies. Paul did the same thing because Rome was looking at his letters, so he spoke in a metaphorical, symbolic, parabolic speech, dark sayings. The same thing Yeshua did. The apostle said, Christ, why do you speak like that? He said, because it's a lot of people that's spying. It ain't for them to know what I'm talking about. It's for y'all to know. What was Christ talking about? There were Roman centurion soldiers. Y'all got to know this history. There were Romans that was watching Yeshua. They were on outpost. They were making sure that there weren't no rebel rousers. It weren't no freedom riders. It weren't no Sicarii or no zealots trying to cause a black revolution. So Rome was watching these Hebrews closely. This is why Apostle John wrote the way he wrote. The Apostle John was banished to the Isle of Patmos. See, this is how y'all know that them apostles were not talking about no God loves everybody. When Paul said, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated, he knew that the Romans were descendants from Esau and that Israel was descendants from Jacob. He said it in a cryptic way to throw off the Romans. Y'all got to know history. So the Apostle John was banished to the Isle of Patmos. So when he's writing the book of Revelation, which he wrote before the book of John, that's just a nugget for y'all, he has to write in secret sayings. So he's not going to say that the Edomite Romans were trying to kill the black Judeans. He says the great red dragon. And Israelites that know Genesis chapter 25 know about Esau coming out red. We know that Esau was called Edom, which means red. We know that history. And we also know that Rome, through Zepho, the grandson of Esau, was the founder of ancient Rome. That Esau was the founder of ancient Rome. So, back to John. When John says that this great red dragon, this fearful beast, is coming after this woman, it's talking about Herod coming after Mary because she was going to give birth to Yeshua. And it's also talking about, watch this, an Edomite beast system that will be set up to destroy any black Messiah. This goes into COINTELPRO versus Dr. King. This goes into the Willie LYNCH letter against our slave forefathers. Y'all, the Bible is prophetic layer upon layer upon layer. Watch this now. So this great red dragon comes against the woman. That's the job of the Edomite Gentile powers today, to come against Zion, to have a space force in the sky, and when Yeshua come with them clouds and them chariots, and to have a system down below of any militant Judean king, priest, Nazi figure that comes up trying to free Zion on the earth. Now let's go back to Revelation 13. So the beast that comes out of the sea in Revelation 13 gets his power from the dragon. So the Edomite people, which are that red dragon, now let's deal with that. there's a lot of layers to this stuff. The red dragon is Satan. Y'all understand that? First of all, the red dragon is Satan himself, but it's also his special family that he has that the Bible calls the synagogue of Satan. In the same book of Revelation, we see in chapters 2 and 3 that there would be Jews that call themselves Jews but are not, but are the household of Satan, the children of Satan. So the great red dragon are the Edomite satanic people. Now y'all, check this out. I'm gonna do a video on the Ashkenazi Jews, the Rothschild dynasty, Mark Zuckerberg, the Federal Reserve. That's gonna drop in about 2 days, because I'm getting my research, I'm getting all my scholarship together for that. So I'm gonna deal with that red dragon in more detail. But just know that red dragon is an Edomite family that fuels empires, ancient Rome and this new Rome, to be able to persecute so-called black people, to persecute Israel, to make sure that we don't get back to the land. That angel, right? That angel that is that cherub in Ezekiel that guards the Garden of Eden, just like Esau guarded it against Joseph, trying to go back to bury Jacob. Y'all, it's so much history. There's so many layers of prophecy to this great red dragon and the beast. So in Revelation 13, let's look at it. This beast has the body of a leopard, the feet of a bear, and has the mouth of a lion. And that Edomite people, that Edomite Rothschild satanic people, that Jewish people, give their power to this beast, to this system. Now y'all, it's a lot in this. So first of all, we see that this beast that these Edomite people would create, this system that these Edomites would create, and I'm gonna deal with New Rome. I'm gonna deal with the Roman Catholic, them Jewish people creating this capitalistic system where they fund the Federal Reserve. I'm gonna deal with it, y'all. We gonna go deep into the book of Revelation, but let's deal with it one step at a time. So this beast that comes out of the sea, this ancient Roman Empire, has elements of all the other empires that came before it. Now we talked about that in Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7, he sees the lion, the bear, the leopard, and then the fourth beast. In Revelation, it says that fourth beast has the body of a leopard, has the feet of a bear, has the mouth of a lion. That Roman Empire took all the wisdom of every empire that conquered our people and applied it in the last days. Y'all, I'm telling you, that's why this last captivity that we're in is the fiercest. That's why y'all like, man, why are black people so oppressed? Why we got Dollar Generals and Big Macs on every corner? Why we got drugs in our community like this? Why our leaders get assassinated? Why our people can't come together? Y'all, this is an age-old beast system fueled by Satan and his special family, them Ish people, that have set up a system to keep us like this, y'all. I'm telling you. So when you hear black people say, well, you know, the white man holding us down, they think that it's unintelligent to talk like this because they ain't met nobody like me. Oh my goodness, let's go. I'm telling you, because I come with receipts. When you really scrutinize scripture, when you know history, you can't be fooled. To know those that rule over you, you have to know those that you can't say nothing against. Oh my God, y'all don't want to talk. That's why Whoopi Goldberg couldn't say nothing. That's why Nick Cannon couldn't say nothing. That's why Deshaun Jackson couldn't say nothing. You have to know those that rule over you by seeing what you're allowed to and you cannot say. And this gets into that Ish people, them Rothschild, Ashkenazi family, the household of Satan that created a system in ancient Rome, and then this new beast. So now let's go back to Revelation 13. So it says that this beast would have elements of the leopard, the bear, and the mouth of the lion that came before it. And the dragon, that great red dragon in the previous chapter, gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worship the dragon. Now they may not have known that's who they're worshiping, because in worshiping this system, they're actually worshiping Satan. And they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with the beast? And there were given unto him a mouth speaking great things of blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme the Most High Yah, his name, his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. Y'all gotta understand, to have a white Jesus is blasphemy against the Most High Yah. Let's go. To take his tabernacle, to blaspheme his name and change his name to Jesus and God, we're gonna deal with it. That's blasphemy. To war against his people that were in rulership, to take our people and put us in slavery, that's blasphemy against the Most High Yah. So this beast will wage war against the saints, would turn the world upside down, would dwell in the tabernacle of the Most High Yah himself, would change his name, would change his people, would create an image of the beast that is the Antichrist image, that is the opposite of the historical Yeshua that had woolly hair, that had bronze skin. We're going to deal with it. Verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the life, or the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the earth. If any man have an ear to hear, let him hear. He that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He that kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. This is the patience and the faith of the saints of the Most High God. Now y'all watch this, verse 11 now. And I beheld another beast come up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon. This is the introduction of the Council of Nicaea. This is the introduction of the Roman Catholic Church. This is the introduction of the 10 toes, the NATO European countries led by America, Mystery Babylon. That second beast that comes deceptively out of the earth follows after the first beast. We're going to read that. Let's read it. And verse 12, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doth great wonders, so that he makes fire come down from heaven, and deceives them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. Y'all, there's so much in this. This second beast revives that first beast. This second beast causes men to worship that first beast. What does this mean in plain terms? This European power construct would look like a lamb, would act like they're Christians, would act like they're a Christian God-fearing country. They would act like they're a lamb, but their mouth, their policy, the way they do things, their capitalistic agenda is actually the dragon. And that you think that America and these European countries are really godsends, when they're really causing you to worship the first Roman Empire and really causing you to worship Satan. This second Neo-Roman Empire, fueled by the Roman Catholic Church, took place during Constantine and the Council of Nicaea, where they created a deceptive doctrine of Christianity, which is Christmas trees, Easter bunnies, white Jesus. All of these were deceptive instruments used to revive Rome, and this is how this second beast, which are all these European Christian countries, right, are really causing y'all's people to have the mark and the image of a lie in their brains, y'all. This is deception. We saw that it says they deceived the whole earth. Now, before I go back into that, y'all gotta check out that Mark of the Beast video, because I can go deeper into this, but I went deeper in the other video. Now we have to deal with Mystery Babylon in detail, because Mystery Babylon represents that great nation that would rule out of Edom, that would rule from this second beast, that would give glory to the first ancient Rome, that would look just like their daddy Satan, right, and deceive the whole earth. Mystery Babylon is actually that nation that leads the charge of all these other 10 toes of Daniel to make war against the Most High Yah, Yeshua the Messiah, and his people, the children of Israel. Now for that, we got to go to Revelation chapter 17. Let's go to it. So in Revelation chapter 17, beginning at verse 1, reread. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, and I will show you the judgment of the great whore that sits upon many waters. There's a lot in this already. The great whore is the image of this nation. that would sit on many waters. What does that mean? This city of Babylon, this end time family, this end time nation would have policies and reach on many different countries, would be able to control many different nations. That's why this woman sits on many waters. Now I'm about to get into that Statue of Liberty. We finna deal with it, y'all. Let's keep going. Verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Y'all, we got to break this down. So America, under her policies, would destabilize countries. We're going to deal with it. America would make allegiances with other nations. The leaders that would free those people are bought and paid for by the United States of America. Y'all got to understand, America goes into nations, raising up their own puppet leaders to destabilize that country from becoming a superpower. What nation gets down like this? I'm just reading, y'all. We just dealing with it. This end time Babylon would sit in many nations, controlling many nations. That's why a lot of these leaders, when you see a real leader that rises up in Afghanistan or something that's trying to free them people, America calls them terrorists. America then goes in and sends a drone to assassinate that joker. I'm telling y'all, we're gonna deal with it. Let's keep reading. In verse 3 it says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon the scarlet colored beast. That means red. This red beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So this woman, this Edomite, is going to be different than the other 10 market companies. This Edomite nation is going to be different. Now, we saw that in 1949, we finna deal with it. In 1949, NATO was formed. NATO and the European Union, all of this is linked. All of this is the same entity. That's when these European countries came together to be able to protect each other, to be able to secure one another's interests. It was mainly made for defense. Why? In the year before 1949, in 1948, the Ish people took the land of Israel. We're going to deal with it. And y'all, I'm going to deal with them Ish people in detail. In 1948, all that stuff. We're going to deal with it. So them Ish people bought out these European countries, and we're going to talk about the Federal Reserve and these big banks that went to all these European countries and said, if you don't do business with the Rothschilds, if you don't do business with us, we ain't going to sell you no weapons during war. We're going to side with everybody else. We're going to blacklist you. We're going to make it hard for you, i.e. we're going to low-key try to kill you. We're going to take you out. This is that Edomite people, that synagogue of Satan, the Rothschild Ashkenazi-ish people that have set up strongholds throughout Europe. So now, if you didn't do right by that Ish people, you didn't have power. You didn't have federal funding. Understand that the Federal Reserve is a Jewish entity. The big banks in America, this is not America deciding to print their own money. The Ish people run the Federal Reserve. And I hope they don't take this video down. I hope to the Most High they don't, because I'm about to deal with this thing. And the next 2 videos is going to get hard for Esau. So y'all, if y'all can download this video, do it. So them Ish people, during the time of World War I, during the time of World War II, they went in and established banking systems where the nation owed the Ish people. The nations had to pay off exuberant loans to the Rothschilds. That's how they got down. So when you see that dragon gives power to the beast, the European countries, America, who is that whore of Babylon, they don't have any power outside of them Ish people. And we're going to deal with that, y'all. I'm telling you, we're going to deal with it. So let's go back to the scriptures. So it says that this woman, this city out of Edom, will sit upon this red beast, right? Full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color. So she herself was a royal Edomite people. The scarlet representing red, like the red colored beast. And the purple is this royal princess of the nations, America, the Statue of Liberty, America, Babylon the Great. And decked with gold and precious stones, because she got Israel in her possession, and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. That means the things that she drinks, the things that she takes in, is straight abomination. The LGBT community, all of this oppressing God's people, the way she consumes, the things that she takes into her country, the policies, the jurisdiction, all of this is an abomination to the Most High Yah. This whore of Babylon would reek in heaven. the things that she would allow, killing y'all's people on the street, making anything goes, having bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits, I'm gonna deal with it, bacon cheeseburgers everywhere you look. Even though our people, I'm gonna drop a nugget for y'all. I'm gonna drop a Torah nugget. Our people are not supposed to eat milk and meat together. So everything that America will promote, pork chops and shellfish and catfish fries and oppressing y'all's people and the LGBTQ RSTUV agenda would be an abomination to the Most High Yah. Let's keep reading. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. Verse 6. And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of YESHUA. And when I saw her, I wondered about with great admiration for this woman. So even John is saying, I was like, this is a bad chick. Can't nobody do nothing with her. Now let's look at verse 6. Verse 6 says, she's drunk with the blood of the saints, right? And the blood of the martyrs of YESHUA. These are two different time periods. Understand. Now we saw the second beast come, which is a revived Roman Empire. Some of our brothers say that's the Roman Catholic Church. You know, the Roman Catholic Church and Sunday worship, that's that beast. That's that beast. When I tell y'all, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but it's not the full picture. The false prophet and the religion of this empire, all of this these are symptoms. So when you say Sunday worship is the beast, Sunday worship is a part of the false prophet, the Roman Catholic Church, which is the image and the religion of a people, of America, of NATO, of these countries, that this is their so-called religion. Roman Catholicism, Christianity. How do I know that? Constantine and the Edomite people had a separate agenda for using that stuff. That stuff was not the goal, right? The Council of Nicaea and all the alterations to the Bible. This was not what you're supposed to look at. You got to look at the hand of he that's holding it. The goal of Edom was to use that as a tool, to use Sunday worship, to use a white Jesus, to use this false prophetic religious system to enslave the earth and revive Rome. That's why when you see this whore that comes out of that second beast, that has the red and the purple on, she rides this beast. She is the leader of these European countries, but not just that, she also has the blood of the saints and the martyrs of YESHUA. What does this mean? All of our forefathers that were in America, that were crucified, that were lynched, and I'm gonna drop that nugget for y'all, that were lynched, that were fed to alligators, that were shot on the street, Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, this city, this whore of Babylon will be drunk off the blood that cries from the ground of the United States of America. So when y'all say that, oh, God bless America, God bless our country, in Christ we stand, in Christ, you finna get that smoke. You finna get that judgment. The Most High got an arrow locked and loaded on every last one of y'all for what you've done to his people. Understand what I'm saying? America has gotten drunk in two ways: by killing our people and by establishing a worldwide superpower off the backs of our people and the martyrs of YESHUA, who are our ancestors. Ancient Rome crucified YESHUA. They crucified Peter upside down. They cut Paul's head off. They cut James, the brother of John's, head off. They boiled the apostle John in boiling lava, and then they boiling oil, and then they banished him to the Isle of Patmos. This is a wicked Roman people. And the revival of that people is the renaissance of white supremacy, of the European power construct. I'm telling y'all, let's keep reading. And the angel said, why are you marveling about this? I will tell thee the mystery of the women and of the beast that carries her, NATO that carries America, which had 7 heads and 10 horns. That's that same 10 horns going into the 10 market companies that founded the European Union, NATO. The beast that you saw was and is not. So during the time of John, this beast hadn't came yet. This is how we know it's not ancient Rome. This is a new Rome that's to come. I'm telling you, the scriptures explain these things. That this ain't come, America ain't came yet. When John was writing this, let's read. And here is the mind of wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains of which the woman sits, which represents completion, which are the 7 continents that this woman, this whore of Babylon, would have influence. We already read that in the first verse, that she would sit on many waters. Let's keep reading. And the 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short space. Now, let's keep reading. And the beast that was and is not is even the 8th and is of the 7th that goes into perdition. What is this talking about? America, the scriptures is letting you know, will come out of a nation that was, but America would come after. What is this going into? America came out of Great Britain. Y'all got it. Now, this is where world history and American history comes in. When you look at Britain, those American refugees that came out of Britain established what we know as the United States today. Now, this was a process of the revolution where they eventually were able to break away from Britain, right, and become their own nation. But the Bible is saying that this nation wouldn't exist yet, but this nation would come out of an existing nation. Let's keep reading. And these have one mind. So these Europeans would be unified and have one mind, and shall give their power and strength to the beast to make the European Union strong. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called, chosen, and faithful. Let's go! So this is letting you know that this system would be set up to war against Yeshua. We already know about the Space Force. America is doing this stuff. When you connect modern history and ancient prophecy, truth is right there. Let's go. So these nations, led by America, would war against Yeshua coming from above, war against his people below, right? And the Most High Yah, Yeshua, Yahusha, would overcome these nations, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings. Let's keep reading. Now let's skip down. Let's go to verse 17. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High Elohim shall be fulfilled. The Most High is allowing this empire to exist. Let's keep reading. And the woman which you saw is that great city which reigns over the kings of the earth. So the equivalence today would be this nation of people that would rule in the end, that will be an offshoot of the beast, that would be just like the beast, those Edomite people, but would ride the beast. A nation that would lead the charge. When I dropped the nugget with Captain America and Thanos, and how Captain America led the charge against the man with the two-edged sword, Thanos, that was trying to collect the stones and bring judgment with the chariots in the sky. So America is this Babylonian end time people that Yeshua would come and judge her, and all those 10 horns that is backing her up, the 10 market companies, NATO, right? The European Union, that get their power from the beast, right? Who gets his power from the dragon. So these Europeans get their power from their unification as this revived Roman Empire. I know this is a lot, y'all take notes. And that gets their power from the dragon. Now you can equate that dragon to Satan himself. Satan gives these Europeans a time of rulership. That's why you see when the Most High judges Satan, he knows his time is short, because he's using this era of the Gentiles that has a time limit. Now, not just as that great red dragon Satan, but a specific satanic synagogue of Satan family. This is where you get into the Ish people, the Rothschilds, that fuel and fund through their resources these Europeans. America is bought and paid for by the Ish people. Y'all gotta understand, I got a video coming with Barack Obama at the Wailing Wall. Now we're gonna deal with, I'm gonna make it plain for y'all, with Donald Trump at the Wailing Wall, with John F. Kennedy and the founding fathers saying that they were trying to protect America from this fear of these Federal Reserve bankings. Now I'm gonna go into that, how America, and that don't make them innocent, that is not what I'm saying, but America and a lot of the leaders that America has knew that them Rothschilds and the Federal Reserve and these big banks would be the end of America, because the dragon owns America and the European countries. through the banking system. That's why you can't talk about them ish people. That's why Mark Zuckerberg is over Facebook. That's why the Google founder is Jewish. That's why A&E Network and the History Channel is them ish people as well. That's why the Federal Reserve is owned by these Jewish people. That's why Nick Tanner can't say what he said. That's why Whoopi Goldberg couldn't say what she said, because they are the mobsters. I'm telling you. And they don't want you to talk about this. And even Hitler talked about it. He said when the nations find out about them ish people, it's going to cause World War III. Because they ain't the people. They've been masquerading as y'all's people. And while they funded our people going into slavery, they performed a great swap. And we're going to deal with that in another video. But basically, America is that last city, that last nation that would lead NATO, that would be the face. Now we're gonna read how NATO turns against America a little bit later. And I'm gonna do a follow-up to this video, y'all. I'm gonna do another follow-up about the beast and that kind of thing. And we're gonna go into detail about that red dragon, about those ish people, about those Rothschilds. And y'all check this out. If you do not have this book, I know y'all be having these books every other day. The Creature on Jekyll Island. And I'm going to be talking about this in the next video in detail. But this book goes into the history of the big banks, the Federal Reserve, and that kind of thing, and how they fund the earth. Now, some people estimate $500 trillion is the Rothschilds' net worth. This stuff gets into some conspiracy theory, big time stuff that they really don't want people talking about. People come up missing talking about this kind of stuff, but we gonna deal with it because greater is he. Yoruba, Benai Ephraim, of the tribe of Joseph. The prophets coming back, the 144 coming back. We gonna deal with. We're gonna uncover the skirt of the Statue of Liberty, the whore of Babylon, America, and all the fornications she done drunk in with the Federal Reserve and the ish people. Y'all, this is the channel where we dealing with these things. So y'all, I hope you got something out of it. I had to cut this one kind of short. I'm gonna go into the next couple of videos. We're still gonna be going into the book of Revelation and these end time prophecies. So I love y'all with the love of the Most High Yah. Peace, love, blessings, and black power. More is power to the chosen race of the Most High Yah, the children of Jacob, even the seed of Israel. I love y'all. Be blessed. Shalom. All praise to the Most High.